applying optimal settings. We are now live. Hey everybody, welcome to a new Sunday stream that we plan on doing on a regular between Bill and I. I'm not sure if we'll do it every Sunday or what the plan exactly is. You should be able to see my chart from Friday at the end of the week with some marks on it. Bill also has a chart that I'll be able to switch over to as we talk. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the stream on YouTube or in my Discord if you're in Discord. I know we have one person watching in the Discord currently. So anyway, you want to say hi, Bill?
Yes. Hello, everybody. Glad to be here.
Oh, let me
How's
make sure my
everyone doing?
audio settings are actually right. I don't know if people can actually hear all of us. Yeah, okay. Say something, Bill. Good, Bill?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Test,
yeah.
test,
Yep, we're
test the
all on
toast.
YouTube now. Or we were before, to
All
begin
right.
with. I had it set up right.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to your screen, Bill, for you.
Yep,
So the
sure.
YouTube screen is now on yours, so people can see it on YouTube.
Okay. So, yeah, I got here the 4-hour chart of the Nasdaq futures, and I've got some stuff drawn up on it. I've drawn some support and resistance on it, the way I see support and resistance being on this chart. The main thing you'll notice is the trend line going up in purple. Then there are some little rectangles. I'm not sure if you can make out the detail, but here on top is one, and here roughly halfway down the trend line is another. And then there are support and resistance levels. So
Hey, Bill,
here
actually,
you
hang
can,
on one second. I think
yeah.
we might not be getting the second screen for some reason on OBS. My button did not work correctly.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Oops.
Oh, hold on. It's fine.
Second screen. Visual.
Let me know when it's up.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going on here with this. Screen 2. Ah, that's why it was set to the wrong screen for some silly reason. On screen 2.
We got
Let's see here. Okay, yep.
the Droste effect
We're now
going
good. Yeah, just little streaming issues that we're
on.
as we're learning. we should be
Wait,
able to.
I'm now checking the YouTube stream and it's not showing my chart yet.
Give it a second. It's going to be delayed by about 20 seconds or so. As you can see, this is me fixing the settings. Right now is up. And then there you go. Now we should be seeing your
Oh
chart.
yeah.
And I can also
Yes,
get rid of that code thing that's on there too.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now.
Hang on.
Anyway, so you've got the support and resistance levels, and just the thing that I wanted to show is price action, because in our last stream, I've been talking a lot about levels that I'm looking at, and I've then been saying, well, if price gets to that level, I'd be looking for price action. But what does that actually mean? We need to make it a little concrete, right? So mainly what I'm looking for is what I call outside bars and pin bars. So an outside bar is this little bar. You see, the bar fully engulfs the prior one and closes outside of it. Closing outside of it isn't actually a requirement, but it does show some strength. So if we start looking at other outside bars, I mean, I've just highlighted a bullish, a bearish outside bar. Here I'll highlight a bullish one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can find some more. Here's a bullish outside bar. Well, there's more. If you go really nitpicking, there's a ton of them you can find. But really what I want to show is, when do you look at these as a sign of actual information and when don't you? So in this case, here at the very top, you have a bearish outside bar um, that straddles the 18,000 mark. It's roughly here. It bounced off of it, right? So it then went down. And this is a perfectly formed outside bar. It's larger than its surroundings. It's got the swing into the rejection. So it's actually reversing something. That's always something you want to be looking for. Um, and it has some confluence, as in there is an actual level it is bouncing off from. So it does show you something. Something is being rejected. And even if you are not trading this particular outside bar, you see that it does have an effect and it bounces off perfectly off the trend line. Even if you didn't trade it, there is the resistance here became support here. So this is a line we want to keep in mind later on. And we've got support here, which was then broken, and we are expecting it to become resistance. Well, seeing as this may have been an outside bar that you thought of as, well, it's too small or whatever you think is wrong with it, if you see it have quite an effect, then still you can then regard it as, okay, that actually was a good outside bar. So then you look at what resistance would there form in its vicinity, so that when price gets back up to it, you can sell there. And the support, which it broke and then subsequently rejected, that becomes the level you'd want to sell at. So this would be a great opportunity for a day trade, in my opinion.
Hmm. I agree. That as you have highlighted with the yellow bar that's horizontal versus the vertical one at the top as a resistance point, those are what I'm usually looking for. I'm looking for resistance points or pivot points where I think that it's not wanting to go through or bottom out. Now, if instead of where
Mm-hmm.
you have that pin bar that went through, where you had a very, like you said, as a bearish, if it had done that 3, 4, 5 times in a row, I would actually think of that as bullish and would put in a price that it's saying it's going up because it's testing that limit, and then eventually, when there's a lot of volume, it'll break through that resistance point.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas since it went
Yes.
up only once through it and then dropped straight down, um, I would think of it as more of a bearish position, as you have pointed out. Um, so,
Yeah.
agreed.
And um, just a little bit prior to that, so here we have the bearish outside bar I was just talking about.
Hmm.
And then just going a little bit back, you see here a bullish outside bar,
Mm,
which isn't exactly at a swing low,
mm,
but this entire pattern is a swing. There's an actual drop going into it, so it is actually reversing something. And here you have what you could call a lowest close um, of support.
mm,
Here another,
mm.
and it gets confirmed subsequently by, what is it, 3 or 4 bars.
Yep.
Then you get the outside bar. Well, first of all, you have here the wick. That would be the first target. I
Mm,
mean, especially in day trading, it's a constant stop hunt.
mm.
So that would be the first juicy target. And if you were to line it up, it kind of coincides with the low here, which,
And also before that too.
yeah, this one here,
Hmm.
you mean?
Yep.
Yes,
Correct.
exactly. So that would be the first target. But it's also very close to this trend line. And I mean, at this point, there's only, well, 2 real touches, right? So this
Hmm.
is close to it. Um, so close to it that if you were to just draw a channel or something similar to one, I'll just draw it now.
Perfect.
You're roughly at the bottom of it. So just from the standpoint of mean regression, this would be a probability positive trade.
Right.
So this, especially how strong it closes,
Hmm.
this would be a viable trade, I think.
Hmm.
Then here you get into all sorts of chop, and there
Hmm.
isn't really. price action. The way I see it, although you do have here a bullish outside bar.
Mhm.
And if you start looking for pin bars and bullish outside bars, bearish outside bars, that sort of stuff, you're going to see them everywhere. I mean, it's just a figment of how these charts form, right?
Yep.
They don't particularly have to mean something. So in this case, there isn't much information um, that you get out of them. Because yes, it does line up with the round number 17,500.
Mhm.
And okay, it does have some effect. It goes after the stops right here.
Mhm.
Um, but normally I would look for these as a reversal bar. That's what these patterns mainly are. And what is this bar reversing? If it
Mhm.
was reversing something, it would have to be strongly bearish. It would have to look bearish, something like this candle. And this one doesn't.
Mhm.
So I would never try to trade this one because
Mhm.
to me, it doesn't give me the information that I would want here.
My trade, if I had been in where you have the pin bar that goes through that's highlighted right there going up, if I had been in a trade up, which I think this might be the trade that we were talking about earlier, where I accidentally got it in on a downward trade and then flipped to a upward one very quickly on it, which I'm trying to find on my trades, but still having issues finding
It's
exactly which
somewhere here,
account it was.
right?
Was it there? I thought it was maybe that one, but yeah, I could see it being there too. It's the same point where I accidentally clicked sell instead of buy, and like you said, it's I could watch it and see if it goes and continues to go down and make a little bit of money out of it, but I ended up taking a $20 or $30 loss to reverse it because I did not think that it was a strong enough pin bar for that. But if I had gotten in on the first one that we were talking about as a buy and gone up on that wick where it dropped right down, which people can probably see my mouse on my screen, but not on yours. I'm circling around it right now. That's the one to the left of it. So there's the highlighted part, and then there's the pin bar down where your mouse is. But anyway, on that one, as it dropped down, that would have been a stop for me. Because the way that my ATM strategies work is it guarantees the profit when it goes up. But the problem with that is I then would have lost out on all the rest of that profit. But it's also a bunch of volatility and up, down, up, down, up, down before it rushes back up to that pin bar further down. Right, so that may have been
Mm-hmm.
actually two trades for me where it would have gone up, dropped out, and I closed out, and then I got in still thinking that it's going up or down, and probably would have lost money if I thought that. I'd have to look at my actual trades to see. But I don't necessarily am trying to grab all profit, maximum profit on every single movement, and that's mostly due to the way that the trailing follow it works with the combines. Now, if it was a
Mm-hmm.
real trade, I would not necessarily have as uh, restrictive an ATM strategy that would follow it. I would still have an ATM that would follow it so that I'd be guaranteed profit on the trade, but I would have much larger risk on that ATM strategy to allow for more of a movement within the market to go up and catch that whole movement up instead of just the little bits of movement. And I think that's kind of the difference between a scalp trade and a long trade, although that's still a fairly short trade in your perspective.
Oh yeah, everything that is day trading is, in my perspective, a pretty short trade.
Yep. Yeah, since you do mostly swing trading, correct?
Yes, but I mean there are trades that, um, well, a month from now there's the longest trade I've ever been in. That's would be a year.
Mm.
The trade has been open.
Oh,
So yeah, that's. I mean, I don't mind if my target is hit in an hour.
oh.
I would love that, but that's not
Well,
particularly what I'm looking for.
well, we need to
That's
get
not
you
what
on
I'm
it.
expecting.
You talked about wanting to stream it. We should do it. I liked that idea when we were
Yeah,
talking the other day, so that we can
you mean
both have,
uh, the kind of combine ideas or the
or the combine,
futures trading?
or just getting you data so that you can sim trade. And
Yeah, yeah, that would be great. Um, yeah, that would be a lot of fun actually.
so I look forward to it, and we'll figure out a way to do that. I know Beep's in the channel, and we only wanted to talk for about 13 minutes. Did you have any particular questions for us, Beep, at all? I'm assuming you can still hear us. Yep. Oh, no questions at the moment. Okay. Um, awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here watching us and listening. Don't know enough to properly ask. Ah, ask whatever you want. Even silly questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question, especially in day trading, because I don't know if there's actually a smart answer.
Well, there was a question from Beep about options and
ah,
if we know anything about options.
yeah. Do you want to
So,
explain what options are to her?
well, I kind of did. Um, well, I didn't really explain what options are. It's
Okay.
just that the question was whether I traded options,
Ah,
and the answer is no, I don't. Never traded them. I don't trade them. I'm not particularly looking to trade them. But there are um, certain aspects of the option market, certain levels, um, that especially if you're looking to day trade, um, they are very valuable to plot on your chart. And for instance, I am an avid follower of the site Zero Hedge, and even though they've now um, hidden a lot of their articles, the most useful articles financially related, behind a paywall, which sucks. They used to have extremely good um, articles showing the levels where there's an option wall. So it's either a call wall or a put wall, and gamma levels, all that kind of things. So it doesn't um, particularly give you an options trade. It's just that sometimes there's levels in the market where there's a lot of option interference. So, for example, I have here 17,777. Um, that isn't exactly a natural level, but seeing as how the market interacts with it, it's plausible that this has something to do with options. And then there's this level as well, where you just see the market just completely stop in its tracks and then burst through it, and then later on just hit it and bouncing off of it to an actual point. It's quite plausible that that's option related. And in the past, I've read these articles and I would just look for what levels are they mentioning. And I would plot them on my chart and see how it interacted. And again, with these levels, I'm looking for price action. So I'm looking for these outside bars, right? Because if I know that is a level to look at, and it gets hit and it shows price action, well, then apparently that's information right there. Um, and that's more of a way I look at options than options in itself.
mhm. I actually have a question for you, mostly for our streamers so that they know. On your chart that you're showing us right now, what all have
Hmm?
you drawn, and what all are indicators that are automatically put on the chart? Are those lines that you are pointing to, like at the 77777? Is that one that you've drawn, or is that one that is being indicated? Is that trend line yours? I know the boxes are yours since you literally drew those while we were here, but I just wanted to know what you were showing. And Beep just asked a question too. I don't know if you saw that, which was
Yeah, I did see that. And just to answer your question, everything that is on this chart um, are things that I drew on the chart. So I started with an absolutely naked chart. There's just the price expressed in bar charts, and everything else are lines, boxes, and things that I've put on it
awesome. And
manually.
then Beep's question was, are both your charts displaying the same thing?
Well, that depends. What's on your charts? My charts are showing the 4 hour charts,
Hmm.
and the price is derived from, well, I'm not exactly sure where it comes from, but it is a CFD brokerage. So it's not exactly the futures,
Hmm.
which yours are showing.
Hmm. Correct.
Um,
Mine comes through Rhythmic is where it gets the data to mine through Ninja. So on my charts, which the streamers on YouTube can't see, I'm gonna switch over to mine right now so they can see it. Yes, it is showing the same thing. We're both showing NQ or Nasdaq futures. Mine
Yes.
is just a different data stream and in different time frames and periods. Like I have one right now that I'm zooming out on. That's a 15-minute chart where you can see the things that I've drawn with the arrow, and where I think that there's blocks of channel, like here on this arrow. This one is a very quick. It's every 100 ticks, and then this is a day chart that's on the top. I kind of use all of these. Usually when I'm trading, I have these on other screens so that they're easier to see and bigger. It's kind of hard for me to show on one screen for people when I'm streaming what I'm looking at. And actually, it looks like the trade, I'm not sure what time you're at, but it was sometime after 8 for that weird reversal, which if people are looking, you can see where this was here, where I said, no, I think it's actually going the other way, and then it went up, and that I made money on that trade instead of losing money ultimately for it. And then
I
something
think
that
it also needs mentioning. I think that on my chart,
what's your chart?
what you see on the absolute right, these levels numerically, they don't absolutely correspond to the futures market that your charts are showing.
Correct.
They do differ, and I think it's about 60 points.
Mm-hmm.
So these levels that you see here, they're not absolute in that sense.
Good. It'd be nice if everything was consistent.
Yeah, it really would be. It would make things a lot simpler, but no, they don't.
Yeah. Well, and even the difference of how fast your internet makes a difference. I mean, if your internet's fast enough, you can be doing nanosecond trades like the big boys do with the high frequency trading. Whereas for me, I mean, I have gigabit internet, but I still have delay on execution sometimes, which is crazy.
No, but I mean, come on. The actual high frequency guys, they use microwave and laser beams.
Yep.
And they have these towers right next to the actual exchange.
Yep.
They have data centers at the exchange building or in the exchange building. It's
Yep.
called co-location. There is no way to beat these people. And what they're using is basically strategies that, I mean, you can make free money.
Yep.
So, as an example, um, they see an order going in to sell 1 million shares. Well, they'll sell 1 million shares faster than that order can execute,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then offer it for you. So basically, all of the difference that it made in the market, they take it.
Yep.
Or another one is subpennying. So when you trade a stock and there's two decimals, behind the point, they get 3. So um, they can just bounce between cents, where basically the maximum profit they can make is 0.9 or 0.8 cents,
Mm-hmm.
but they can do that on every share,
And they also don't
knowing
have
that,
commission fees.
yeah, or extremely low. Um, and
Oh.
and that's the thing, right? It's free money. If you can see trades coming in and you can execute faster than that particular order can execute, then it's free money. You can front run everything. The only risk such traders have is someone else doing the same thing and being faster. So you could have a gigawatt per second internet speed if you are not co-located. If
Yep.
you aren't using laser beams
Mm-hmm.
to transmit your trade orders, it's not going to work that way.
It's like back in the day of having to call your broker up or send them a letter and say, "Hey, I want to buy these stocks," and then they send it off to the exchange, and then a couple of days later, it actually finally hits the floor versus having an office right on the floor where you can throw the paper at the people and tell them that I want this now.
Did you know that Thomson Reuters started that way?
Did he? I did not.
Yeah, Thomson Reuters started back in the day when stock quotes um, bet- between different exchanges, they would
Mm-hmm.
be transmitted via mail. So back in the day, it would be with drawn horse carriages. And what Reuters did is he would send postal doves with transaction data attached to their legs and send them to different exchanges so that it would get there faster, and made a lot of money in so doing. And
By
later, when
using
that,
pigeon instead of horse.
yes,
That's
yes, pigeons, yes,
smart.
just being faster than the other guy, just because your data gets transmitted faster. That's, I think, the earliest example of high frequency trading.
Pigeon.
That's where it all started.
That is great. Well, we've only got a couple minutes left, and I think that's a very interesting fact for us to end on. I don't know if you want to add anything else while we have a couple minutes left, or any last
Um,
questions from anybody?
I don't really have anything to add,
Okay.
but there is perhaps one thing that Beep asked, and that's why I brought up the option thing.
Of course.
I'm not sure if I can share this um,
Well, we're still on
this
your screen, so
image.
whatever you share in Discord, people will see on the stream.
Yeah, yeah, I just need to open something in a browser. I just don't exactly know how to.
Are you sharing screen or are you sharing a window?
I'm sharing a window, I think, but it should be fine.
Yeah,
I
if you open
think.
up, I think if you just open up a new tab in the same browser, it should show us.
Yeah,
The
but it's a paint image.
Oh, okay.
Um,
You can if you switch to you can switch to that window on Discord, or you can do
yeah,
a
I'm
screen
just
share. If you
looking.
do share, there's something that says screen. You can click it, and it'll give the whole screen instead. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah, yeah. This is uh, what I sent to Beep,
Hmm.
because I was just explaining that I don't really look at options themselves, as in looking at them to trade them. Um, but there are these situations where on a certain Friday, a lot of option exposure expires, and you have these. Well, it's called the Greeks, so the delta, the gamma, the Vanna, theta, all that stuff.
Mm.
And what we're looking at here is Friday's OPEX. This is the 5-minute chart for Nasdaq futures,
Mm.
and I happened to read an article about it where, I don't know, something like $3.2 trillion in options were set to expire. Of course, not all of that is Nasdaq. It's a lot of single names. It's some bonds. It's mostly S&P stuff.
Mm.
But still, it was, at least as it was reported, it was heavily skewed to positive gamma for dealers. And what that means is that when dealers are long gamma, it kind of um, clenches in its fist the market. So every spike upwards gets sold into, every dip gets bought, and when options roll off, and same happens for the gamma exposure, then you get this unclenching event. Suddenly the market is just dropped and let go, move freely. And that's kind of the different regimes that I wanted to show in this particular chart, because I thought this is perhaps a pretty good example of
Very good example.
what it looks like. I mean, what does it look like when events from the option market that you know are going to happen? So gamma exposure for dealers rolls off and the market is let free. How can you use that? What does that look like? And I think this was um, well, a pretty good visual representation of what the difference is between lots of gamma exposure and very little of it. And well, I'm not an option trader. I don't have a lot of knowledge on it, but I do know visually just these kinds of events. And I just wanted to show that.
Oh, that's awesome, Bill. We really appreciate you being here. We look forward to having more conversations with you. We actually had, I think, about 3 people are watching now on the stream, so we have 2 people watching. I'm not sure if y'all are in the Discord yet or not. Please join the Discord so that you can ask questions and have more stream videos, options, and stuff like that. We look forward to having you. Also, like and subscribe if you're checking this out later. That definitely helps out the stream grow and get more people in here. Again, Bill, any last comments you want to make?
Well, for me, it's always fun to talk about trading.
Oh,
I could do
me
this
too.
all day, and yeah, well, let's do this again
Let's do this again.
soon.
I like the idea of doing the regular Sunday, and then I know you said that your schedule is going to be erratic or sporadic for the next couple of weeks to months. But I look
Yes.
forward to having you, once a week to once a month while I'm day trading, and I also look forward to getting you day trading too, even if it's just sim accounts and us competing, so to speak,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're
or
definitely
co
gonna figure
uh,
something like that out,
not
right?
not competing, co-competing, I guess, cooperate, compete.
Well, comparing notes, no one ever heard. No one ever
Yep,
got hurt comparing notes. I
yep,
think.
exactly.
I hope.
All right,
But
everybody.
yeah,
Well,
I've had a lot of fun, and let's do this again soon.
yep,
So
definitely.
everyone listening, yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing, and we'll be back soon.
Alrighty.
Have a good night,
Yeah,
everybody.
everybody enjoy. We'll catch you later. Ending the stream.